Oh, getting a late start here. It's almost 11 p.m. here on Tuesday night. Almost forgetting my days. We had a good work day today. If we had another couple hours, we would have done even better. But it's been the best day we've had in over a week, so very happy about that. We have little baby Isaac staying with us tonight. I thought they were settling in for the night, but I hear them up in the kitchen. I've just been going through a moment of nostalgia. I don't know what it is about 2025, but I've been very nostalgic this year. And so much so that I've started to download the Grey Cups, the most recent Grey Cup games. And right about now, if you're not Canadian, you're looking at me thinking, what in the world is a Grey Cup? Well, I don't watch sports anymore, like I said, but I also said it's been a nostalgic year. The Grey Cup is the Canadian version of the Super Bowl. And in my opinion, it's far better to watch if you're going to watch one of the two because it's not so hyped up. You don't have to look at things on there you don't want to see. They don't do political ads and all that trash as far as I'm concerned. Canada keeps it straight to the point. It's mostly about the sport, the game. I don't know if you even see any cheerleaders on there. It's just not a part of the game. It's not really important. Yeah, they have cheerleaders, but it's not a focus of the game the way it would be on a Super Bowl. So I've watched the first quarter of the 2024 Grey Cup. I don't even know who wins yet, and that's part of the fun. But just memories. I've been to one. It's called CFL, Canadian Football League. I like their football far better. You only get 3 downs. You don't get 4 like in America. A lot of the players are American up there, but there's a lot of them that are Canadian as well. So it's a little taste of home for me. And even though I do believe that one day Canada will become a part of America, I don't think this is what I foresee. And I'm not saying it's God. I'm not saying this is thus saith the Lord or it's prophetic, but this is what I can sort of see. And I've heard it before years ago, and that might be why as well. If Canada is going to agree, whoever it's really up to, I honestly don't know who it's up to. If they agree to become a part of America, I don't believe that it's just going to be called All America. I believe it will probably be called something like the North American Union. I heard rumors years ago. This is just speculation. It's not a fact that it's real. But it was said many years ago that they had a plan for a North American Union, and they even had a currency for it. So if that happens exactly that way, know that this was planned many, many years in advance. They call it the North American Union. And it's an interesting topic, but I don't want to get too far into that. But yeah, I was just watching some old Canadian hockey players like Wayne Gretzky and Mark Messier and Don Cherry. And there was an announcer named Bob Cole. I don't even know if he's still alive. He could be dead now. He's an old man now if he's still alive. He was when we, as a Canadian boy growing up, we used to watch the hockey games, the Stanley Cup. Of course, that's for North America, Canada, and America. And Bob Cole was the man. Bob Cole and Harry Neal, the two broadcast announcers. And it's just a classic memory of watching those games and hearing their voices. So I was watching some interviews with these men and I'll tell you what, the nostalgia is at an all-time high. I didn't mean to bore you with all that, but that's just what's been going on through my mind right now. I've been praying some tonight. I took a little bit of a nap, and I'm fighting a sore throat and some congestion. It could just be the weather. I'm not sure. But anyway, January the 28th here tonight. This is called God's Will. Less of me, more of Him. Absolutely. The 11th verse in Philippians chapter 1 tells us, being filled with the fruits of righteousness, which are by Jesus Christ, unto the glory and praise of God. Since I've done so much talking tonight already, I'm not going to read too much. Let's start with verse 6, one of my favorite verses in Philippians. Philippians 1:6, going down. Being confident, Paul says, of this very thing, that he which hath begun a good work in you will perform it until the day of Jesus Christ. Very simply meaning, when you get born again and filled with the Spirit of God, He continues to work in your life to change you, to conform you to the image of Christ until you go home. Even as it is meet for me to think this of you all, because I have you in my heart, inasmuch as both in my bonds and in the defense and confirmation of the gospel, ye all are partakers of my grace. For God is my record, how greatly I long after you all in the bowels of Jesus Christ. And this I pray, that your love may abound yet more and more in knowledge and in all judgment, that you may approve things that are excellent, that you may be sincere and without offense till the day of Christ, being filled with the fruits of righteousness, which are by Jesus Christ unto the glory and praise of God. But I would ye should understand, brethren, that the things which happen unto me have fallen out rather unto the furtherance of the gospel. All right, so we covered that verse, and now let's see what Mr. Tozer has to say. Get ready for something deep, because you just never know what he's going to say. He said, this is called God's will, less of me, more of him. So you get the idea. Some Christian believers seemingly are committed to endless dialogue about the deeper spiritual life, just as though it were some new kind of fun and games. Actually, many people want to talk about it as a topic, but no one seems to want to know and love God for himself. When do we learn that God is the deeper life? Jesus Christ himself is the deeper life, and as I plunge on into the knowledge of the triune God, I call him just Godhead, he's three manifestations of one God, my heart moves on into the blessedness of his fellowship. This means that there is less of me and more of God, thus my spiritual life deepens, and I am strengthened in the knowledge of his will. I think this is what Paul meant when he penned that great desire, that I may know him. He was expressing more than the desire for acquaintance. He was yearning to be drawn into the full knowledge of fellowship with God, which has been provided in the plan of redemption. God originally created man in his own image so that man could know companionship with God in a unique sense and to a degree which is impossible for any other creature. Because of his sin, man lost this knowledge, this daily partnership with God, and his heart has been darkened. But God has given sinful man another opportunity in salvation through the merits of a Redeemer, only because he was made in the image of God, and God has expressed his own everlasting love for man through the giving of his Son. Let me close with this. I just was talking about it with Sister Julie today as we were working. When I preached a message earlier this year at church, as I was preparing for it, God was waking me up in the morning, and he was just kind of downloading little things into my spirit, or uploading them, so to speak. Confirmation download. That's a joke. My teammates will get it. Anyway, God basically said, I made man to fellowship. In other words, it's in our makeup, it's in our DNA, it's in the way we were created to want companionship and relationship with people, to have someone to fellowship with. And just reading this devotional just now, being made in the image of God, God wants fellowship. That's why he made man. He wants us to fellowship with him, and we should want him to fellowship with us. It's very simple. So for you to go against that, for you to say, I don't want to have companionship, I don't want to fellowship with other people, period, you are fighting against the very nature that God gave you. Think about that one. God bless you guys. I'm going to let you go. Have a wonderful night and a great rest of your week. I'll see you in the next Evenings with Tozer devotional.